What are your next 3 days going to be like?
My next few days are going to be great. I don't know what I'm going to do right now, but I'll probably get a chance to spend some time with my wife and kids, and start thinking about how we prepare for next week. And I'll sleep well. Barry, I know that's one of your questions. How you sleeping? I'll sleep well this week, knowing that if anybody watched our team play, it's hard to deny we're a pretty damn good team and worthy of being in the tournament and can have success against anybody.
What is it about a zone defensive scheme that gives your offense trouble sometimes?
You know what? They didn't actually zone us much. In the second half is where we really struggled. They didn't zone us at all in the second half. I think honestly we just we ran out of gas a little bit. If I'm just being honest, we were just a step slow to loose balls. We were a little bit short on our shots, and that's what happens. It's not an excuse; it's a reality. They earned the opportunity to have the extra day rest. We played an emotionally charged game against our in-state rival last night, and they had a little bit more energy than we did. Because of that, they played a little bit better than we did, and as a result.
When you see Kansas tip a bunch of passes and you guys aren't getting many offensive rebounds, are those sort of, as you're on the sideline, are those kind of telltale signs?
Yeah, and we give in a little bit easier. We don't make the extra effort plays. And not that they don't want to. And you've seen these guys all year. They want to do that. Couldn't get there. It was just another step that we were beat to it. And that's, again, Kansas earned that by winning the league. That's what happens. To the victor goes the spoils. They had an extra day off, and they took full advantage of it.
Is that part of the Kansas team you expected to see a couple times? They seem to have a little more energy today than past games.
Yeah, they were really good. They're going to be a #1 seed, guys. That means they're expected to get to the Final Four. So yeah, I think they show what they're capable of. Even without, again, I didn't think it was a big deal that Azubuike was going to be out, other than we tried to attack inside a little bit more. But those guys around that perimeter are really dangerous.
How much did Yankuba's big game in the first half help?
Oh, it's huge. Mitch played he played emotionally charged games, an Oklahoma kid. Put a lot into that game last night, and we needed a little bit more presence inside, and Cooper stepped up and gave us that.
Do you wish you would have gotten a little bit more out of him in the second half, or did Kansas take away his numbers?
Yeah, it was hard just because the game kind of got to that double-digit range pretty quick. It's hard to play slower. We have to play slower with him. And then you got to decide against them. I said this before, if you're going to play him or Mitch, because you can't play them both together, because you can't defend them with both of them in the game. So again, at this point, Mitch brought us to the dance, man, and he deserved an opportunity to be out there.
You talk about Kansas had a little bit more spring and step. Part of that is you'd beaten them twice, and
sure.
You had there's no chance they were overlooking this game. It's not a trade you'd have made. You're glad you beat them the first two times, but you definitely had their attention, it seemed like.
Yeah, and they got a Hall of Fame coach over there who reminded them of that. There's a reason that he's had the success he's had, because it can re-engage those guys less than a week later, and they're playing in front of their fans again, essentially. And he had them locked in. Credit goes to him and his staff for being ready and having those guys, ready to compete. And now they'll continue to move on.